Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. This play has two characters, the owl and the bull, who lives in the forest. The owl's home is a tree that's disturbed by an unwelcome visitor, the bull. The bull knocks down trees for a living, so he may earn food for his family. This play is a discussion between the owl and the bull and the future of the forest and the animals. What do you think you're doing? I'm knocking down the tree. Stop! What? That's my home you want to knock down. That tree? Yes, I live in it. Really? Of course. Owls live in trees, you know. Yeah, of course. Now, if you stand aside, I need to knock down that tree. Will you listen to me for a minute? Sure. That tree is my home. I live in it. Without it, I wouldn't have any place to live. I'm really sorry. But still, I need to knock it down. Why? The cat wants me to. What? He wants you to knock down trees? I don't know. I just get my pay. I don't ask questions. Well, I'm not about to let you destroy my home because some cat told you to. He gives me and my family a lot of grain and feed to eat for every tree I knock down. I can't let my family starve. You can't destroy my home either. My family has lived in this old tree for many, many years, along with a lot of animal families. Do you want to make us homeless? I've got to feed my family. Can't you earn any food some other way? I don't know. I can't really do anything else besides knocking down trees. That's all I've done my whole life. There must be something else you can do. Something you might enjoy more. I like to pull the plow through the fields. See? There's something. Yeah. I love to drag that plow along and rip and tear up the earth. Okay. I've got the idea. You can do something else. But nothing pays as well as knocking down trees. There are some things that are more important than money in this world. Like what? Like trying to capture nature the way it should be. We don't change it that much. Remember how the neighboring forest was all knocked down? Sure I do. The cat was sure happy. But all those animals that lived there had to move. Their homes were destroyed, and they had to go far away to live safely again. See, they can always find other places to live. What happens when all the forests have been knocked down? That won't happen. It might. So, what if it does happen? All the animals will have no place to go. We'll have to move to a place far away where you or the cat can't find us. Do you want all us to leave, never to be seen again? No, I guess not. have to do something else or all the trees will be gone. Then neither of us will have anything. What do you mean by I won't have anything? Once the trees are gone, you can't earn any food for your family anymore. I didn't think of that. You need to. Wait. There are plenty of trees around. They'll last through my lifetime. What about your children? What about them? The trees probably won't last through their lives at the rate you're going. Well, just plant more trees. It takes a long, long time for trees to get big enough for some of us animals to live in. Well, it's something, isn't it? Yes, it is. That's just what we'll do then. Plant more trees. It's not enough. Will you stop all this? You think too much, Al. That's what's wrong with you. You think too little. I don't see any of this bad stuff you keep talking about. It's like you're making it up or something. I don't believe any of it. You stubborn bull. You may not see any problems with knocking down trees, but I do. Like what? There aren't enough homes for them all. Forests will become overcrowded. Animals will have trouble finding food. They need to feed their families too. Yeah, I guess so. Trees also make clean air for us to breathe. They do? Sure. How? What we breathe out, trees breathe in. What trees breathe out, we breathe in. Wow, I did not know that. The air trees gave us is clean air. If we cut down all the trees, the air would get all bad and yucky. Are you sure? Look at the smog in the city. Yeah, it's pretty gross. Without trees, all the air will become so icky, no one could even breathe it. Would that really happen? If you knock down all the trees, a lot more than that would happen. This is all good to talk about, but I still have to work. I guess I better start packing. Come on, kids, pack your things. Wait. What? Maybe I could just take part of the trees and leave the forest animals some. That way, we both win. I don't want to see any trees taken. Every time some are taken, the more danger our earth will be in. I gotta live. Yes, you do. Maybe we can share. But like I said, every time a tree is knocked down, the environment will be in a little more danger. I know. The bad air and all that stuff. And have you noticed the temperature? Yeah. It seems like it's getting hotter every year. That's because we're losing so many trees. Is it? How? You know how I was telling you about the trees breathe in what we breathe out? Yeah, sort of. If there aren't enough trees to breathe in a lot of what we breathe out, What we breathe out just hangs in the air and isn't used. What does that have to do with the temperatures? Heat rises from the earth. What we breathe out traps the heat and keeps it down around us. If there aren't any trees to breathe that air, the heat will stop escaping at all, and we'll end up living in a giant steam bath. Oh, but winters are getting colder. That's part of the same problem. The warming makes us all the weather worse. Every year we get more hurricanes and tornadoes. Everything is more extreme. That isn't making any sense, is it? No, really. Then I've already lost. Look, I don't want to destroy your home. Can't we make a deal? You can't make deals with nature. Goodbye, Al. Goodbye. Come on, kids. The forest is a beautiful place, isn't it? Maybe this tree can stay a little longer. Mr. Toastmaster.
LaShonda, it's been years since I've seen anybody do this speech, so it was actually a treat to see it done. And I believe it's got to be very difficult to find something where you could do two voices. I really thought you did a great job on the differences between the voices. I could tell every time which one was talking. I particularly liked the calm, reasonable voice of the bull, because I kind of thought, well, that would match what I would expect of a working bull as opposed to a crazy one. One thing I thought that the owl's voice, and this is just me, seemed a little shriller. I expect owls to kind of be calm, although if they were tearing down my house, I might be a little agitated too. I also thought you brought up a lot of interesting points about the value of trees. One thing I did notice was that every time at the beginning, every time the owl talked, it was looking up. And I would think the owl would be in the tree looking down. And then you had the bull on the other side, and it seemed like your spinning was sort of too much. So I think I would work on that. Also, you talked about the cat wanting the house torn down, or the tree torn down. I don't know if I just missed that, but I was totally confused as to why the cat would care. So I would have liked a little explanation on that. But thank you for something I have not seen in a long time.
LaShonda, thank you so much for reading the play for us. I like the story actually. It's very educational, and I assume this is for kids. Yeah. And the characters definitely have the personalities there. And also, of course, the technical side, you announced it very clearly, so I can audibly hear every word you said. It's really nice. And I particularly like the message, you could not make a deal with nature. That really stayed with me. Thank you. Things to think about. One is, well, you have a short introduction, so the next time leaving with the Toastmaster, have him introduce you. And I would love to see a little bit broader, more emotions for the characters. Because I heard two voices, but when the bull is going to tear down the house, I mean, the owl may show some sadness. I didn't really hear a clear range of emotion within the same character. And the third part is, I know this is maybe for children, but for me, I would love to have a little bit faster pace. It will make the connection better for me, as people will comprehend what exactly is going on. Yeah, thank you.
I liked your voice. One of the things that is very strong, good volume, and you have good vocal variety. And I liked the way you changed your voice for the two characters, as others have mentioned. I thought the owl was really spunky. I liked that owl. And the bull sounded a little tired at times, so.
Knocking down trees.
Yeah, that's why you're working so hard. body position really was the area for development that I noticed, because I felt the owl was looking over here at the wall, I'm talking, and then the bull would be looking the other way. However, is this something you wrote? I wasn't.
No.
Yeah, you found a play, correct? Yeah, that's what I thought. So those would be my suggestions. It was I thought a good choice.
Good job in the role play. You were pleasant in the way you were reading, and I noticed a subtle smile while you were reading, so it made your reading much more pleasant to listen to. Just a couple of comments for improvement. In the beginning, your voice, you have very good projected voice, but in the beginning it was a bit high, it was a little high, and then after that it just came to the right pitch, so it was fine, just in the beginning. And the other comment I have is, there were no, I know it's a role play, you were busy looking at the paper and playing the role, but I felt that we, the audience, are left without any, I couldn't even get one for all of us, an eye contact.
Well, it says you're not supposed to give eye contact, but then it comments on how good was the eye contact. So it says, when reading the play, don't look at your audience.
I'm just going to evaluate it the way I have seen it, regardless of how the book says it. I think it was just, the audience was just sitting there, and you and the owl and the bull just playing there. Okay. There were, however, one very good chance to give an eye contact, regardless of what this book says. When you finished the role play, and then you changed. You did a really good job. I think you stayed about 5-10 seconds without saying anything, and then you came and you said, "The forest is a beautiful place." I thought that would have been a perfect time for an eye contact, because you finished, you're done. You could have just relaxed, looked at all of us, and then just lay it on us, say, "The forest is a beautiful place," and da 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 da. But it's very interesting. Thank you.
Oxygen scientific reason for what's going on, the way the air is clean, and I like the heat explanation and the losing the trees. It was nice, as others have mentioned, how you change your voice for the owl and the bull. I would have liked to have known the author of this literature. I really would have liked to have known that. Okay, and I didn't understand the word about the danger of, and I wrote down ozone. I don't know if you said that or not, did you? Oh, okay, so it was a word after danger of. I didn't get that. To me, it was a little slow moving for me. I needed a little more action going, you know, after I heard Solomon, you know. So keep up the great work, and give it a different version, interpret it differently.
Okay, thank you.
Some of your voicing was great. I would like to see a different voice for the bull, I think. Something with a little more liveliness. I think that the message you were trying to go for, I would have maybe had the bull make a transformation throughout the course of the speech and how he sounded, because he sounded kind of like a victim, like, oh, what am I supposed to do? And I don't think that was the character you were going for. So that's all I had to say. I thought it was great and very entertaining.
But most of the people said, but I want to commend you. I did this manual as well. It challenged me. It really stretched me. I like the fact you chose a play that had two characters, which is easier to work with the voice. I love the storyline of the two worlds colliding. You know, the environment, the trees, and I like that. I heard some nice voice inflections. There was a time I sort of looked away from you to see if I can almost picture what you were saying. So I heard some good voice inflections, some ways you can improve this even more. I would recommend when you do this again, if you choose to do a different play, record it. Record yourself switching between both voices. Listen to it and ask yourself, number one, are they distinct voices? And can you actually picture the scenario of what's going around? Because that's the beautiful thing about interpretive reading. Speaking the words and almost painting a picture in somebody's mind. Maybe blow up your print so it's easier to read and highlight. That way you can visually see your voices changing. Use pauses effectively. There were times, after we were Solomon, there were times slow down. I know what the book said in this one, but I would slow down, stop, pause, kind of glance at the audience. If you've ever watched a good narrator, like at the symphony, they're reading, but they're also stopping. They'll look at the audience as they're reading. Nice job, because this is a challenging speech, but very nice job.
Well, this takes home wrecking to a whole new level. Shonda, interesting message about nature and how everything works there. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmaster, most distinguished guest, Shonda particularly. Good setup. I know you kind of get the cast of characters at the beginning, who's going on, the setup is fine. In this manual, in case you don't know, you're supposed to kind of set the whole scene there. I think the setup was good. The setup worked for me. So that was a good thing. Passion. As you may know, LaShonda's got a lot of passion. I think we felt that. You experienced that with LaShonda. She's a very passionate person. Yeah. Shannon did. Some people not so much. But okay. Barbara did, I think. Okay, good. Very passionate. That really helps a lot there too, when you're going up there. And when you went through it, you were very, you had a good idea of the setting, how the setting worked back and forth. But thoughts for development. World champion speaker Craig Valentine talks about sameness. He says an enemy of any speaker is sameness. The challenge here is you have two different characters, but you still want to shed things a little bit. For instance, did you notice sometimes there was a different situation? Like there was a situation where the tree was going to be knocked down. And there was a situation where it seemed like that wasn't going to happen. The bull wasn't going to do anything yet. So in that case, you could have Val change the pitch, change the sound of the character a little bit to adjust to that situation. So you leave different characters, you don't have to have sameness. Another thing to think about is hands. Hands are things that just kind of pop up without being aware of it. But particularly hands, what people tend to do is they tend to lean when they're too close to the table. So simple thing you do is to step back. So you don't lean, because this actually takes energy out of you, puts energy into the table. And then finally, to get what Shannon's point was about pivoting. And a lot of people, and I just did this a lot, I used to do this kind of thing, back and forth like this. You're kind of staring off over here and looking off over there. Like that, all the time. I thought that was the way you're supposed to do things. But I discovered from Craig Valentine, that's what he calls kind of the soft pivot. And all you need to do is just even lean to one side or lean to the other. And people know the character change through the dialogue. You can set it up a little bit. You can say, the owl said, and the bull said, and then as long as it's the same all the way through, people will know. So you can use different inflections, different ways of saying things, as long as people know who's talking, it doesn't matter. So sometimes people use kind of strange voices to indicate the different things. You don't have to do that as long as people know which one's talking and which is the other talking. I realize it's probably a children's story, so maybe it's more appropriate, that sort of thing. But something to think about, a soft pivot. I do want to thank you, LaShonda, for this lesson, this idea, this thought, and remind me to be aware of nature and the consequences of what we do. This